రాష్ట్రంలో జరుగుతున్న తాజా పరిణామాలపై కేటీఆర్ హాట్ కామెంట్స్ చేశారు. హైదరాబాద్ హెచ్ఐసిసిలో జరిగిన నాస్కామ్ బీసీసీ కాంక్లేవ్లో ఆయన పాల్గొని ప్రసంగించారు. దేశ రాజకీయాలు, తెలంగాణ ప్రాధాన్యాల గురించి వివరించారు. తెలంగాణలో తాము ఎన్నికల ముందు 6 నెలలు మాత్రమే రాజకీయం చేస్తున్నామన్నారు. మిగతా 4.5 ఏళ్లు అభివృద్ధిపై ఫోకస్ చేస్తున్నామని చెప్పారు. ఉద్యోగాలు కల్పించడం, జనం సంక్షేమ పథకాలు అమలు చేయడం, రాష్ట్రాన్ని అభివృద్ధి చేయడంపైనే దృష్టి పెడతామన్నారు. అలాంటి ప్రభుత్వం ఇప్పుడు హిందుస్థాన్కు కావాలన్నారు. తెలంగాణలో ఉన్న తమది అలాంటి ప్రభుత్వమే అన్నారు కేటీఆర్.
I think which is what India has in abundance in the digital and emerging space, the innovation ecosystem, infrastructure and livability, which is of course something that every government in India is Micron, Qualcomm, all of their second largest centers in the world are also in Hyderabad. Hyderabad's IT growth story is something that's extremely impressive. Last year, in the middle of the pandemic, when the national average IT export growth was about 17%, Hyderabad had clocked a 26% growth. In fact, out of the 450,000 jobs added last year in the IT sector, 150,000, which is 1/3, were in Hyderabad. Top 5, as I was pointing out, apart from the top 5, we have ZF, we also have Novartis, which has a large center in Hyderabad, which is again their second largest campus in the world. Let me quickly also tell you, for those of you who are interested in understanding why Hyderabad for a GCC, on the livability and infrastructure, there is an agency called as Mercer, which rates cities on a livability index across the world. They've rated Hyderabad as a city with the best quality of living among all Indian cities for 5 years in a row now, from 2015 until 2020. Of course, in the middle of the pandemic, they had suspended their ratings, but I do believe that had they done it, it would have still come out trumps. Our infrastructure certainly is better than most other cities in India. I do not wish to slam my competition in India, but I have to point out a few things. You know, I love Delhi, but I think the smog there is a shocker. Chennai, I love Chennai as well, but the humidity there is a bit of a pain. Bangalore, can't say anything, but the traffic there is hugely disappointing. We all know that. Those of us who have traveled to Bangalore, once you get off the airport, you don't know when you're going to reach the office or when you're going to miss your flight. So that's a huge put off. And then, there's Bombay, which of course is prohibitively expensive. And of course, what's happening in politics there, I don't want to talk about it. So the only city that leaves you with a stable government and an able leader and with the best quality of infrastructure is Hyderabad. And more importantly, the government here is focused on building more and more infrastructure. Because if you think about it, the fact is, while what Mahatma Gandhi may have said about 75 years ago is still true, that India lives in its villages, India is actually run by its cities and towns. Because they are the economic engines that drive the growth of this nation. All the statistics that Gunjan was talking about, the third largest economy by 2031 and all that GDP and GSDP is actually going to come from our cities and towns, majority of that. The fact is, in the last 75 years, governments really have not paid a lot of attention to urban infrastructure. It is crumbling because we're not able to keep pace with the kind of rapid urbanization and suburbanization that has been happening. But we in Hyderabad have actually focused on improving urban infrastructure. Unlike other cities, we do not have any problems with respect to power or drinking water. We are not one of those cities where you'll have to ferry drinking water in railway tankers. We have provision and we have planned for drinking water needs till 2051. We have satiated our drinking water requirement and we continue to improve on that. We have ensured also that there are no disruptions with respect to power supply and we provide 24/7 quality power. More importantly, public transportation is also important. We've completed 70 kilometers of Hyderabad Metro and we are looking to expand it even further to make our public transportation even more robust. To alleviate the congestion problems in the city, we've built more than 30 flyovers in the last 5 years as part of our strategic road development program, and we continue to add more and more to that. We are adjudged, like I said, as the most livable city, and more importantly,
thought. And with that, back to you, Case. coming, sir.